His charm is so contagious that vaccines have been created for it. He is the only man to ever ace a Rorschach test. His legend precedes him, the way lightning precedes thunder. He is the most interesting man in the world. Eddie was born on September 4, 1946 in Elk City, Oklahoma. His parents, John and Winnetou Benge, were married as soon as John returned from World War II. When Eddie's dad accepted a job at a pharmacy in Lovington, New Mexico, they all moved to a rural ranch a few miles outside of town. It was there that Eddie learned his love of the outdoors, running around with their dog Buster, playing with BB guns, and riding horses. Eddie realized early on that perspiration is the most important element of life, and he had that in abundance. This young adventurer kept himself busy indoors and out. Inside, he always helped in the drugstore, which his dad eventually purchased, sweeping and waxing floors, dusting and stocking shelves, and helping customers. Real success is doing your best and doing it 100% of the time. Eddie worked long hours helping with the family business. But the allure of the outdoors never stopped calling his name. Eddie went on quail hunts with his dad and brothers. He lettered 2 years in high school for the golf team. Outdoor circus performer? You bet. Eddie rode the penny farthing right through the center of town. And Eddie was also a member of the rowing team for a school with barely any water on which to practice. It takes a certain kind of outdoorsman to master the sport of non-aquatic rowing. To pay for his education at Southwestern State College, Eddie got a summer job selling books door to door. He sometimes worked 90 hours or more a week trying to hit his sales goals. The company held friendly sales competitions where the top salespeople would get to hit the others in the face with a pie. Eddie didn't like finishing second. And a wise man once said, "Belief is the thermostat that regulates the way you live your life." So he wrote a self-help book filled with inspirational quotes. 2 things happened. The next summer, he finished first in sales. And that book, now known as the Benge Bible, is still being given today to every new salesperson in that company. After graduating, Eddie worked as a general medical officer for the Indian Health Service in Oklahoma, where he worked in obstetrics and was made an honorary member of the Choctaw Nation at the end of his assignment. He then moved to Iowa and developed his love for rheumatology. The cold Iowan winters took a toll on Eddie, and even his insulated coveralls and newly grown beard weren't enough to keep him warm. The details of what follows are sketchy, and few know the truth, but rumor has it Eddie couldn't resist the fame and fortune offered by Tinseltown. His glorious new beard and rugged good looks made him the male model every producer wanted to replicate. First, there was Swiss Family Robinson. And then Robinson Crusoe. Many years later, Leonardo DiCaprio tried for the Benge look in The Revenant. And who could forget that memorable scene with Jim Carrey at the end of The Truman Show? But in the end, fame and fortune were no match for the workings of the human immune system and the mystery-solving nature of rheumatology. After completing his residency and fellowship in Iowa, then 2 years in a multi-specialty clinic in Oregon, Eddie returned to New Mexico in 1981 and practiced alongside Eric Carlson. A great opportunity is worth exactly what your preparation enables you to make of it. They practiced together until 1990, when they affiliated with Presbyterian in what was called a Practice Development Agreement. Other groups signed similar agreements, and they all eventually formed what is now known as Presbyterian Medical Group. Since that time, Eddie has been working tirelessly to treat his patients and advance medical improvements in our community. He has served on various committees and been a member of the PHS Board of Directors. After a brief hiatus from Presbyterian, a renewed and reinvigorated Dr. Benge returned home in 2001 as the Vice President of Medical Staff Affairs. He was proving again and again that his support for our patients and physicians was never-ending. In 2009, Eddie returned to clinical practice as a member of Presbyterian Rheumatology Group, where he enjoys seeing patients on a full-time basis. And then, sometimes, right in the middle of an ordinary life, love gives us a fairy tale. In the early 90s, during a serendipitous visit with a friend, Eddie met Patsy. Eddie was so taken with Patsy that when there was an opening for a medical assistant in his office, he immediately hired her. Patsy epitomized a superwoman and supermom, raising 2 girls on her own while working in his office and getting her nursing degree. Eddie grew closer to Patsy and her 2 girls, Michelle and Nicole, and in 1997, he asked Patsy, his soulmate, to marry him. 2 years to the day after their wedding, Michelle, Nicole, and Eddie adopted each other and made official in law what they always knew in their hearts, that they were truly a family. Their family has grown over the years, and they now have 2 wonderful sons-in-law, Carlos and Jimmy, and 5 amazing grandchildren, Sam, Lexi, Israel, Libby, and Kyla. Besides family, life has been extremely busy for Eddie and Patsy over the years. They have honored friends and family members who have gone before them, gathered their minions and tried to steal the moon, traveled to a far-off land and unsuccessfully fought off an uprising led by a pesky girl and her dog. And Eddie still works as the ringleader of his own personal 3-ring circus that follows him around wherever he goes. You can't really say you love people until you love them all. Eddie loves them all, and he is loved by all as well. For his years of service to the field of medicine and to the community, the Presbyterian Healthcare Foundation recognizes the 2016 Reverend Hugh A. Cooper Award winner, Dr. Eddie G. Benge.
I don't always save lives, but when I do, it's with Presbyterian. Stay healthy, my friends.